and welcome to another inbox review. It seems to be Revell time at the moment, with another Revell kit here. This time we've got the B-26 Invader, kit number 03823, 259 parts, skill level 5, which I guess, I know with Revell I think it's mainly based on the number of parts. And then we've got the dimensions there as well. On the side we've got another, so it's quite a big box, another picture of the aircraft, and there's again the number, the skill level, barcode, and then each end we've basically got, it's far too large already to get in there, but again it's just the same information on the sides. On the back we've got some really nice, nice built up pictures of the aircraft and the main colour call outs here. Well, manufactured by Revell in 2022, but as I'm sure most people will be aware, this actually is an ICM kit. It's a rebox of the ICM mould, which is still a relatively recent mould, certainly in the last 3 or 4 years I think it's come out, so it's fairly recent. It may even be newer than that. It's worth checking on Scamates. But it looks good kit, it's good scheme, something a bit different, red nose, black main colour, so I thought it looks a bit different. So let's open her up and see what we've got. So we'll get the instructions out first. Nice new modern Revell instructions, which are great. These are obviously full colour, which is good. Again, fairly standard. We've got obviously a few hints and tips on how to make your model, stir the paint, etc., test the fit, and some tools they recommend, that sort of stuff. Then we've got the fairly standard symbols. Revell paints, you are going to be required to do some mixing if you go for the Revell option, but I'm sure there'll be many others out there, although I'm guessing with the main colours you're going to just be using red and black, so that shouldn't be too difficult. We've then got a sprue map, which is always nice to have. Parts blanked out that aren't used in this particular version. And then we go, oh, there's quite a lot of sprues. And then we go straight on to the cockpit build. Fairly standard, which is nice. Obviously now with these newer instructions, you've got clear indications of the colours, the cockpit green, red, black, decals, etc. It's much easier to read, much easier to follow, which is really nice. In fact, Revell have probably gone from having one of the worst instructions to possibly one of the best. Which is nice. Bombs, bomb bay, then the interior all going together, and then the other side, the fuselage, again more bombs, and then the whole thing coming together. I guess these are probably the horizontal stabilizers that we're doing here. Yep, there we go. Then we kind of got the nose. Does appear to be 2 different nose options. Obviously you've got this one with all the cannons and machine guns in the middle, in the front, or just a plain version. So you've got 33. So again, there's going to be choices here to be decided upon during the build process. Holes to be drilled, again, possibly depending on the version, depending on whether you want bombs, gun pods, rockets, different options there. Wings going together, nice that obviously the flaps etc. can be separate, so they can be posed, I guess, up or down. Wings going together, then we start working on the engine nacelles. The engines etc. going together here, and these are going on. And we're then looking at this gun here. There's some fairly specific instructions here, not quite sure what that's for, but you've got to do it twice. They're actually basically telling you to cut a piece of sprue interestingly, from frame B. Should give you a piece of sprue. It's about 1.5 millimeters thick. Yeah, interesting. Not quite sure what those sprues are for. It gets you to cut them out here. I wonder if it's for these bits here. Not overly clear. Well, we'll figure it out when we build it. Then we've kind of got the gun going on. We've got various clear parts here going in. Underneath as well. Then we've got the tyres, wheels, landing gear, etc. And then we finally, wheels, etc. And then we finally actually make the actual engine itself to connect to the nacelles. Two fairly detailed engines by the looks of things, which is nice. Various covers that I guess could be posed open or closed. We've then got the Bombay doors, and then we've got all the sort of auxiliary armament, the rockets, bombs, or fuel tanks, depending on what your preference is. I don't know if it depends on which version you're building. It doesn't seem to indicate that. It just purely has question marks. And finally the propellers. And then we've got these nice colour diagrams. Obviously the box art version, or the one in the box. And then we've kind of got some others. Here we've got a nice one in a nice sort of olive drab colour. Again, this has got the machine guns here, so there's at least 3. Interestingly, all the actual call-outs show it with the guns, so which version you do without the guns isn't overly clear. You probably need to do a bit of research on that. But that's a nice instruction book, very clear, very concise, that's good. We've then got one giant packet of sprues and a couple of other bits in here. So we've got the standard sort of guide, health and safety type guide in there. We don't really need that too much. We'll get rid of that. Let's quickly look at the actual decals, because they could well be the highlight of the kit. Again, it says printed in Italy, 2022. We've got belts, which actually are not too bad if you wanted to use it. We've even got the instrument cluster there, which again is actually quite good. The decals themselves are a bit matte, but maybe satin, I suppose. But the detail there is excellent. They're really beautifully printed, nice colours. Certainly not excessive carrier film here. These have got a fair bit, but that's to be expected. You could obviously cut some of that out if you wanted to cut those bits individually, I guess. But generally, that's really good. Put those out of the way for a minute. And as I say, we've got one bag here. Let's see how many screws we get in there. It's fairly tightly packed, so we have to be careful not to lose parts as we extract them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry about all the rustling. 5, 6, 7. Just need to be careful because there is a part floating around in the bottom of the bag there, so I'll just make sure that doesn't go missing. 1 clear, 2 clear bags, and then we've got another 4 sprues there. So there's quite a lot of plastic in this kit. What I'll do is we'll just move some over there, some over there, and then we'll look at a couple of the larger sprues first. So we've got our main fuselage parts here, and what looks like the horizontal stabilizers. Again, as with all ICM kits, the quality of the moulding is usually pretty good. The plastic is nice. Got nice recessed panel lines. Some nice rivets around here and on the tail. It all looks quite good. I'm not sure about these two pieces here. That's the only trouble, because they'll get snapped off, I suspect, fairly easily. Assuming they're supposed to be there and they're not something you have to snip off anyway. There's a slight texture to the plastic, which is odd. I don't know whether that's by design or just only on the underneath, weirdly. Same here. Again, I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up, but there is a weird texture. I'm sure it's not going to be a problem though. Certainly the parts are all crisp. That's actually sprue A, as luck has it, we've picked up there. And there's no flash or anything. And it's horrid. There doesn't look to be any sink marks or anything like that on there. Then we come on to the wings and nacelles. Again, all nice recessed. There's a slight odd, I assume it's to the injection processing as the plastic goes through and cools. I don't think it's going to cause a problem. But again, I don't know how well if the camera picks that up, but there's this sort of weird marks, but you can't feel anything, so I don't think it's anything to worry about. The nacelles, I assume these are probably the Bombay doors. We've got some detail in there, and it's nice because there doesn't appear to be any injection pin marks that you're going to worry about there and there. There are some injection pin marks here, but again, I don't think you're going to see them, so they're out of the way, shouldn't be a drama. Then we've got some of the tiny cockpit details here. I'm assuming various pieces of equipment here. Aerial, I'm guessing this is the nose. Very nicely detailed, really nice. Fantastic. Again, no flash or anything nasty. We've then got the engine, or the engines, I should say. Obviously there's two. Again, really nice looking detail here. We've got some nice detail on the engine cylinders. Hopefully you can pick that up quite nicely. These various rings are all nicely detailed with rivets, etc. These are for the wheels, I'm guessing, the wheel. Nice. Bombs. Again, all the bits and pieces look clean, crisp. Doesn't really seem to be anything wrong with those that's going to cause you any problems. More pieces. So again, we've got the instrument panel there. It's really nicely detailed. Hopefully that's picking that up okay. Various interior bits, landing gear, various sort of flaps, etc. Fuel tanks, more interior details, radio parts, components maybe. Console. This is all part of the gun mechanism. Again, it's nice. It's a lovely crisp mould. I can't see anything really wrong with that on initial inspection. There's no flash or anything horrible there. These are all the landing gear bays, bay doors for the landing gear by the looks of things. Yeah, good. Oh, then we've got another one here with the rest of the wing components, or the other side, interior bulkheads and bits and pieces. Again, really nice detail on there. And all looks pretty good. Hopefully, there we go, picking that up. Yeah, nice. Another engine. This is, I'm guessing, exactly the this is exactly the same as the last one we've already looked at. So we won't dwell on that for too long. And then we've got some odds here. Tyres have got quite a nice diamond tread in there. Hopefully you're picking that up. Fairly crisp. They haven't got the sort of bulge in them for the flatness, which is a shame, but other than that they're good. 2 of those. And then we've got one here for the rockets. Again, it's a pretty good mould. Doesn't seem to be much to worry about there. Then last of all, we've got these 2 packets of clear. Let's open this main one. We'll try it. And wow, they are fantastic. There's obviously different options here for the different sort of canopies, cockpits. You've got one here. I don't know whether they're different, or whether it's just one has got an open door and one is completely closed. I have to confess I didn't notice that in the instructions. But there's obviously a couple of options there. There's also a clear part here, which actually looks like a clear nose. So maybe that is the difference between the noses. But again, the 3 versions in the back of for the paint schemes don't show it with this clear nose. Maybe that was one of the parts that wasn't needed. I don't know. But again, it's fantastically clear, and it's not overly distorted. Really nice clear parts. Fantastic. Really good. Well, that's a really nice model. Looking forward to building that at some point. Certainly on my to-do list. Hopefully that's useful for anybody thinking of getting the B-26, whether the Revell or the ICM boxing. Thanks for watching.